Sometimes operating in your divine feminine energy isn't always pretty. Are they doing work outside? They're interfering. Excuse that noise, guys. But sometimes operating in our divinity isn't so pretty, right? It can be dark, it can be maddening, it can be passionate, it can be sensual. But usually when I operate in mine, it's just like this, and it's valid. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not the best at this stuff, but as I was getting ready to do this, I was just thinking. And I was thinking about how a lot of people kind of cut down certain feminine things, right? Why would they do that? Like, I remember when I was younger, it became popular to be the girl who was more tomboy. She wanted to hang out with the guys and, oh, makeup? No, not for me. If you are a tomboy and you don't like wearing makeup, that's excellent. Look, I'm not saying it isn't, and I'm not trying to down that. What I am saying is that the feminine has been snuffed out, so sometimes it can feel uncomfortable or weird to operate in that energy. Again, where did that come from, right? Pushing that. I don't know if anyone else from my generation really remembers that. I just remember it kind of became the popular thing to do. Well, I'm not the best at being girly girl, as you see. This is in no way pretty. But I love doing it. I like fixing my face up. I like making my eyes pop. I love operating in that energy, and there's no shame in that. Don't let anybody make you feel ashamed or feel guilt for operating in that feminine energy. And what I mean by that is embracing feminine attributes, feminine traits. The point is, when I love being in this energy, I love it. But also, I feel like there are pressures on women to always be perceived in a certain light. Are we doing these things for ourselves, or are we doing it for society and what they expect out of women? Now there's the topic for today, along with tarot decks I'm using for my work this week. God, please excuse that noise outside. Expected to always look young. You guys see my wrinkles? I'm really going through that change right now, like from my youth into and beyond the mother years. It won't be long before I'm a crone. Okay, am I perfect now? Am I camera ready? Am I beautiful for the male gaze? Am I what society wants now? Well, I have words for those who would put this on women, and that is, by the way, part of rocking your divine femininity is being you, loving you in that energy, in the way you manifest as the goddess in material form, right? Almost like an avatar for that divine feminine. The things society puts on you as a woman to be beautiful. In order to be a woman, you have to do this. In order to be a mom, you have to. It's all so ridiculous. So ridiculous, and probably made up by men. Now, this is not a male bashing video, okay? I'm just trying to make a few points here while we are getting closer to the live and our topic about the unbalanced feminine and unbalanced masculine, and how it all incorporates and flows into each other and manifests in all these crazy ways. I was talking with Rachele this morning, and we were talking about this, and we became quite emotional because I feel like a lot of us all carry that pain collectively, that weight of our expectations from society, from men, from what we were programmed both on the male and female side to believe, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of the men who are unbalanced do say these things, put these expectations on because they were taught the same thing we were. We were all taught or programmed to be in these roles, in these imbalanced energies that really make it all chaotic as a society and collective, correct? Our beauty, our gifts from the divine feminine part of God, the whole, the source, whatever you want to call it, and taking that and really running with it, living in it, being aware of all of that is so important for us, our spirits, in our daily lives. We can see women taking that divine energy and really stepping into it, right? And part of that is unapologetically loving yourself in that bad bitch energy. So, what really is a bad bitch, or in this case, a bad witch? She's not somebody that society deems beautiful and perfect. Not to me. I kind of know that's how the slang came about in a way, but a bad bitch is a woman in her divine energy, owning it, walking in it, aware of it. And part of that is owning your individual beauty, loving yourself for who you are. If you have gray hair, you have wrinkles, you want to wear makeup, you don't want to wear makeup, that is okay and you own it. If you struggle with your weight, I do, own your body and live in that divinity. Feel it and love it. Nurture it. You are a manifestation of the divine, no matter what form you are in, or so I believe. And part of the point I'm trying to make is you have society's anima of a woman. If you know where I'm going with this, Carl Jung's work. It is the ideal in a male's gaze of what his dream woman should be. That's like such a shallow label or way to explain it. But I encourage you, if you don't know what I'm talking about the anima, the animus, really look into Carl Jung's work. It's amazing. And I tend to really like a lot of his ideas and incorporate it in my spirituality, especially with this work we're doing this month. But I feel like the world right now is operating on an anima versus the divine feminine energy. And this is the ideal of what a dream woman is or should be, right? Same as the animus is the ideal of what the perfect man would be. Instead of embracing and loving the perfection in itself, we make up all these designs, requirements, and how about be who and what you are and rock that energy? This is the first step we take to balancing out that energy within ourselves and understanding this at a spiritual and deeper level. I do not do this for men. I don't do this for society. I do this because it genuinely makes me feel good, makes me feel pretty. It helps me show off my eyes more. I love my eyes. And when I'm all done up, I feel that energy and I feel pretty that day. It really shows and you glow. And I want that for everybody. You know what I'm talking about. You've gotten a new outfit, new haircut, got your nails done, and all that day you are glowing because you are just in that energy. That is that divine feminine energy I am talking about, that I am trying to reach and feel this week and really own and utilize in my work, because it feels so good when we're in that energy without a care in the world, in that moment, you just really love yourself and you're like, look at me, you know, I'm confident right now. I'm bold right now. I am beautiful right now. I want everybody to feel that. So, one exercise I encourage you to do is maybe go do something for yourself. Go get your nails done, dye your hair, get a haircut. Do something that makes you feel beautiful for you. And that doesn't always look like makeup or nails. A lot of the times, us women, realistically, are in our pajamas with no bra, no makeup, our hair is a mess. And you know what? We're still owning and rocking our divine feminine energy, just as we are. Rocking and owning your divine feminine energy is all about feeling it within and expressing it without. It really doesn't have much to do with your looks. That's just another way you can express your creativity with this energy. And unfortunately, when we're imbalanced, we relate all these things to what the feminine is and the ideas of the world of what the feminine should be. And there's a complete difference. And I think there's a certain girl code, and I think the majority of men even realize, because when you get a man that is completely in love with his wife, it doesn't matter what she looks like, what she's wearing, what's going on there. When she's in her feminine energy and rocking it around the house, maybe she's dancing to a song she loves, maybe she's creating something, or maybe she's cooking dinner for her family and looks really cute. She's in that energy and he couldn't be more attracted to her. And why is that? It's because she is in that divine feminine energy. So I am encouraging you this week to do whatever it takes and however that may look for you, because it's different for everybody. Go out or stay in, do something to really feel and sit with that energy and explore it a little bit, own it a little bit. For me, I think I really want to do my nails or dye my hair for Mother's Day. I have been feeling a little down, about my looks. I do that a lot. But you know what? I'm going to do something about it just to make myself feel good. I think it would really help me rock my energy, though I feel like I do a good job of that every day. We all do, because we unconsciously express this energy. But this week's really about connecting and being aware of that energy. So I really hope I'm making sense, guys. I'm not trying to come off offensive here. All in all, like in short, I'm saying to be aware and just rock yourself in that energy and build yourself up, right? Let's empower ourselves and just really love it and sit with that. I would even love to see a moment recorded with you in that energy. Just a moment where you really feel like you are your bad bitch self. And this could be for men too. Decks I'm working with this week. So I have with me the Literary Witches Oracle. I love this deck. And to me, it's simple. Doesn't really have goddesses in it, but it does have kind of that vintagey feminine energy to me. It's a really cool deck. I mean, look at that. It's so symbolic too. And I absolutely love it. One of the ways I kind of identify the feminine being snuffed out in our world as well is by telling women how they should look, how they should dress, what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a mother. We all have the ability to define and know that within ourselves. That's one way they snuff it out. Another way is the perfect example of what I had said at the beginning, where they push these agendas for women to step into their masculine energy more. Another way they snuff it out is by snuffing out women's creativity. So how many women have invented something? This is another deck. Legendary Ladies, amazing deck. But how many women have made an invention back in the day, and then it's taken. Someone else gets credit, whether it be their husbands. And how much of that still goes on today? Isn't it beautiful? What about the agendas of pushing, overly pushing independence, or that one sign back in the war, you remember it, of the woman? She's like this, we can do it. I think that's all amazing, but it's also women stepping into their divine masculine energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I am simply stating about the imbalances of feminine energy being snuffed out and being replaced by an anima like energy. I also have with me the Casanova Tarot. Look, one could say that this is a masculine deck. You wouldn't really be wrong. However, that divine feminine sexuality, who really had the power with Casanova? Huh? Who really held the power? I think we all know. So to really kind of step into my sensual divine energy, I'll be working with this deck most definitely. I think the women in this deck, though depicted in a very vulgar way, they're still a beauty. They still look powerful. They didn't make the women look bad. I really love this deck in the way that it kind of screams to me female empowerment. What's one power that a woman's always had? Her sexuality, correct? Whether we want to admit that or not. And part of that is a programming, the world's fault. I see a lot of people complaining about women who are empowered by expressing their sexuality. They are slut shamed or what have you. And here's the whole thing with that. If the dominating male industry did not provoke this, tell women for centuries it was their only worth, and capitalize off of women's sexuality or feed into it with money and their desires and take, there would be no power in that. But a sexual woman and a woman in her divine sensual energy is powerful. She could bring a man to his knees and crumble his heart with sexuality alone, because infatuation is often mistaken for love. I adore this deck. It screams feminine creativity, that divine witchy energy. The colors are gorgeous. And I don't think I mentioned which one this was. Earthly Souls and Spirit Oracle. The box kind of messed up on me, so I had to put it in one of these boxes that I got from the Dollar Tree. I have a few decks like that, but anyway, Venus Morningstar Tarot. On my topic that I was talking about with divine female sensuality, again, reinstall Paul's video. I thought he made an excellent point when he said, in a way, we still have sexual temples, and it could be places like strip clubs or a gentleman's bar. Now, I know that seems kind of absurd to view like that, but is that not a place where, besides all of the horrible negative things we all know can happen there, but on the flip side of that, if the woman was in control of those things instead of a man over it, if a woman could be in control of those things and it is all consensual, and you have women dancing and expressing their sensuality and seducing and being in that energy, and then you have men properly coming in to honor this energy, it would be an opportunity for it to be sacred sex and connect the higher to the lower self, and really at a deep spiritual level interflow that energy and become a sacred spot. I thought that was an interesting point. I'm not saying I agree with everything that happens in that industry. That is one very horrible part of what we're talking about here, and why a lot of us are enraged. The pain, the hurt women go through. It's not invalid. We are just strong and badass, aren't we? Everything we endure, everything. And we still keep going because we're expected to. We know we have to. Which is one reason I love this deck. A lot of the shadowy parts of the divine feminine I feel in this oracle deck. I love it, love it, love it. So this one is the Lonely Soul Oracle. I'll be working with this as well. I don't want to turn this series into a male versus female thing. I'm simply stating to take what I tell you and look at it on a deeper spiritual level of energies versus the sexes and how it manifests between the sexes as a whole in the collective. I'm working with this deck too because it's very psychological, very deep into archetypes, into Carl Jung's work. And I think it's excellent to put with a lot of these feminine-based decks and really work out a lot of my readings and feelings and thoughts. And I have a lot of them. So the reason I brought some of these points up, and I'm only giving you droplets of them, is because we're going to be discussing in depth a lot of these topics coming up in the lives. We're going to be addressing a lot of emotional things about women, about the patriarchy, how this can devastate us spiritually and our world, and how it really is. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it because I really want to integrate my divine feminine energy, and I don't want to be angry anymore. I want balance, and I feel like the key to that starts within all of us. I really appreciate you listening and watching to my thoughts. These really were a bunch of random thoughts I had today, and I'm looking forward to sharing more. And thank you guys so much for your support. You're all so amazing in the comments. Everybody watching, everyone listening, thank you so much for participating. You guys rock.